The inbound pass, Keys gives to Williams, and Williams on a curl to Curry, all the way under. Nice play to Rowsom. Rowsom scores it.
Simple two-man game.
104-81, 6:36 left to play.
Charlotte the lead. Stacey King against Rowsom. Charles Davis against Anderson, now left free. And the afterthought didn't work, and Rowsom the rebound.
We talked about before, when you extend that arm away from your body, something has to be called.
Jazz ball, they'll go to Stockton right side. Stockton looks inside of Malone. He'll take it low to Karl along the base. Guarded by Rowsom. Fought away shot by Karl's not close. And the rebound, Stuart Gray. Stuart Gray now to Muggsy Bogues. 40-25 Utah. Muggsy's up top, directing traffic. Snap it left side of Chapman. Back to Muggsy, right angle right. Over in the right corner to Rowsom. Drive the base, and Eaton knocks it away, and we get a foul from Mark Eaton. Ryan Rowsom will shoot two.
And you can feel the crowd starting to get into the game here. As you see, driving the baseline, Mark Eaton just didn't have a choice. He had to foul him. He was out of position. That last time down the court with Karl Malone, the Jazz just stood around. I don't want, you hate to see them doing that because they were moving and had a lot of movement in that first quarter.
Ryan Rowsom makes the free throw. He has 3 points, 3 for 3 shooting at the line. He'll get another one. University of North Carolina at Wilmington. This young man, his number is going to be retired at his school in about a week.
That January the 20th, wasn't it?
The second free throw is good. That's not a week.
I think it was January 20th.
Cut court, Karl Malone, 40-20.
Jordan got past Reed. Rowsom helped out nicely, but got called for the foul. But Dick Carter applauding Brian Rowsom for the help defense.
Dick knew that Brian did exactly as the Hornets had their game plan set. When Michael Jordan goes to the basket, somebody has to move over and try to cut him off. That somebody was Brian Rowsom.
And he wasn't very far from a clean block either.
One on the other end. Chapman topside bounce in the lane to young Brian Rowsom. And Rowsom has John Sally called for a foul. Earl Curran now off Dick Carter's bench to spell Tim Kemp.
I don't know how John Sally could have played that any differently. He was in good position. He didn't move his arms. That's a tough call for the official.
Mahorn for Sally on John's foul. Dumars has replaced Mike Williams. Bogues, Chapman, Reed, Rowsom, and Curitan for Charlotte. Joe Dumars, Vinnie Johnson, Mahorn, Rodman, and James Edwards for the Pistons. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Mr. Allen Shoes from Bostonian to Cole Haan at affordable prices. Rowsom gets 2 at the line, 36-28. I don't know what's as good as the Pistons, at least so far this season. Young season, as they say. Rowsom, pretty good jump shooter, squares up and guns. He got it.
You called it.
38-30. 5:55 now to play in the half. It's an 8-point Piston lead. Bogues setting it up for Charlotte. Top of the key to Reed. Chapman on the wing. Fires. It's going to be wide. Tapped by Rowsom. Isn't, though. 40-32. Rowsom with a quick 6, 2 at the stripe, a jumper, and then the putback.
1,000 fans receive a Hoopla poster, courtesy of the Illinois State Lottery. Charles Davis is in for Scottie Pippen for the Bulls, and they have Brian Rowsom in the lineup, 6'10". Brian Rowsom coming in for the Hornets. Brings it up against some defensive pressure. Craig Hodges guarding him. Here's Curry against Jordan. 8 on the shot clock. Now they punch into Rowsom against King. Tough hook shot by Brian Rowsom over Stacey King.
The inbound pass, Keys gives to Williams, and Williams on a curl to Curry, all the way under. Nice play to Rowsom. Rowsom scores it.
Simple two-man game.
104-81, 6:36 left to play.
Comfortable out there.
AD gets them both and has 10. 3:55 to play in the half. Tripucka works against Dantley. Kelly bounces it in the lane to Rowsom. Got it blocked by Mahorn. Got it back. Went back toward the hole and drew the foul. This guy looks like a player.
Pretty good-looking kid. He's hustling there good. This is something we talked about earlier. Every minute that one of these kids get that has a chance to stay with the team is money or minutes in their bank.
He's 6'10" and 230. Can shoot it. Went to camp with the Indiana Pacers last year. That's where Dick Carter saw him first. Told me on the phone a couple of weeks ago, he said, he can shoot the ball. He's a very nice kid. And he said, not only that, he loves college football. He said, George, you'd like it. He's a Notre Dame fan, even though he went to UNC Wilmington.
You know, so far in the game, he's mixed it up pretty good with Mahorn and Lambert.
Gets both free throws. 8 points now for Rowsom. It's 42-34. Pistons, 3 and 38 to play in the hand. Isiah setting Lambert.
Well, as you possibly could. He just allowed it to develop, worked it until his opportunity showed. Celtics by 18 with 6:20 remaining in this ball game. Here's Gaddison working the baseline now on Reggie Lewis. Goes to Rowsom, has the jump shot. Ryan Rowsom, 6 points in the fourth quarter. He's averaging 7 for Charlotte.
Advantage of his size, advantage over Muggsy Bogues.
Well, that's a good point. Rowsom at the buzzer. How about Brian Rowsom?
Well, Rowsom says that he can also make a spectacular play. Second ball game of this new year for him, and he banks it in. How about this for Brian Rowsom?
This has become a Hornets specialty. Michael Holton did it at the end of the third quarter in Miami.
Michael Holton does it almost from the same spot, the same side of the floor, but Rowsom at 6'8", 6'9", what kind of range for a big guy has he got?
Let's have to.
Inside short, Reed with a rebound. JR gets rid of it to Bogues, and the Hornets have it back with a chance to take the lead. Minute 25 left. Bogues in the front court to Rowsom. Back to Muggsy. 14 on the shot clock. It's Tripucka. Down low, Rowsom on a feed from Kelly. Puts it up. Boom!
Great hands.
Hornets basket, number 32.
Had the ball temporarily stuck between his hands and the Minnesota player's hands. Stuck with it and put it in. Big basket by Brian.
10 points for Rowsom. 73-71. Hornets up by 2 with a minute 2 left.
Bogues against Isiah. In the lane to Curitan. Deep to Rowsom. Hit it off the high glass on a nice reverse. 76-60. He has a dozen to lead Charlotte. Lambert off to Vinny left.
Bogues now has it at the point as the Hornets trying to erase an 11-point deficit here with 2:52 left to go in the first. Bogues brings it to the right, goes to Robert Reed. Reed head fakes, goes baseline, has Kersey with him, takes it down to Rowsom. Rowsom puts it up and in.
Hornets basket number 45. Brian Rowsom.
Get a bucket inside, Steve. The Hornets have to have another offensive option, and it has to come from somebody down inside. Everybody overplays their jump shooters.
He's added weight since he left Vanderbilt and has been with the Bulls. He could become an effective position rebounder.
Rowsom once again.
Nice lean into the basket that time by Brian Rowsom. He didn't fade away. He took it, leaned in, shot the ball.
12 points for him. Rowsom 4 of 6 from the field, 4 of 4 from the line.
To the blocks to Rowsom. Tries to back it out, double team, hands to Tripucka. Cut off on the baseline by Cummings. Feeds down low to Rowsom, who lays it up and in. 68-44 Minnesota on the shot clock. He's out by the three-point line. He's trying to get something going. He can't. Now cuts to the near side, feeds Rowsom for a long jump that is good. Brian Rowsom.
Well, there's a lot of talk about the possibility of McLeod coming here. It'll be interesting to see what happens. An excellent coach, not to mention quite a dapper gentleman. He would fit into George Shen's requirement of having a well-dressed coach. Rowsom gets away on the break and jams one home. Rowsom with a little showtime. He's got a half dozen.
Riles looks up at that scoreboard, and he's still got a 22-point lead. Relax, Irishman, it's your birthday. Ball out in front to Keys. Keys pass inside, knocked down by McNamara, picked in a garbage play, and scored by Rowsom.
The same latitude that they do Magic. They allow Magic to dribble it right into the paint as far as he can take it. Rivers, maybe they tell him to back it out, Gary, and let the offense get going. They don't want Rivers to be the offensive threat that Magic is. And who could be?
Brian Rowsom able to score from inside.
Rowsom, good job that time. Didn't force the shot, got his balance when he turned and faced the hoop.
Michael Jordan's outside shot is missed. He's cold. The Hornets a 2-point lead. Richard Anderson's got good range. Doesn't take the shot. Big sellout crowd in the stadium, very quiet. The home team not doing much. Rowsom scores again. Brian Rowsom gives the Hornets a 4-point lead.
Rowsom has been their starting forward or center. And with Rambis gone now, they go to Armand Gillian.
Jordan dumps into Cartwright. 12 on the shot clock. Cartwright against Stuart Gray. Strong move to the hoop, but the short shot is off, and Rowsom the rebound. Boy, the Bulls aren't getting much on the offensive glass. Offensive rebound over Charles Davis. Anderson for 3. Wow. Richard Anderson.
Jimmy, they've shot 170.
Able to play, I really feel deep down that they would have won the championship.
Well, you expect certain things from Isiah each year, but if you assume what you're going to get from Isiah, Rick Mahorn was probably the Pistons' most valuable player last year, and then to have him go down and still make it to the 7th game of the finals was really something. Ricky, by the way, 13 points, 10 boards tonight. Mahorn just fouled Rowsom. He does his share of that, too.
When you come out of the dressing room as a coach with a player like Ricky on your team, you know you're going to get consistent performance. You're going to get double-figure rebounds. You're going to have enough aggression under the basket that it's going to intimidate some of the opponents, and it's such an advantage. That consistency, you know, that's the key mark to the great NBA player. What are you going to get night after night?
This Rowsom looks like a keeper. Brian Rowsom made 2 and has 16.
Hornets haven't been able to take advantage with the lead down underneath. Here's Rowsom up. It is no good, but he was fouled going for the basket. And the foul is going to be charged inside to Minnesota, and I think it's going to be Lohaus.
Brian has gone to the ball very well. He has some quickness down low in getting to the ball. He's working on the finish. That time he got fouled going for the basket. No double clutch. Real good strong move by Brian Rowsom. He's rewarded with 2 foul shots.
Rowsom getting a lot of playing time tonight with Rambis out of the lineup for the 2nd straight evening. Rambis with a bad ankle. Rowsom gets the free throw, and the Hornets step ahead 57-56.
How can a guy go to UCLA whose mascot is the Bears and be called Pooh?
Towel.
Oh.
Rowsom goes to the foul line. 2nd shot is up, and it is good. Shot clock is off. Low into front court. Sidney will bring it up against the offense, which against the defense. The offense is spread. Now Kelly gets it down low to Rowsom. Turns, fires, shot good. He was fouled.
The basket is
Fouled by Richard Anderson. And Brian Rowsom gets a chance for the 3-point play with 5 seconds remaining in the 3rd.
That's a real good play, and what we see on Brian Rowsom, Steve, is a little more concentration inside. Once he gets the ball, he's more definitive in what he wants to do, not putting it on the floor, taking it straight to the basket.
Here comes Rowsom with a 3-point play. He hits it. He's got 6 on the night.
4-point lead, New York, and the Knicks have the ball. Still a long way to go. 9:07 left, but the Hornets cannot afford a New York run.
Patrick calling, waving somebody off, calling for the ball. That's what he got.
But no. Offensive foul, Patrick Ewing, and the Hornets got a big call in their favor right there.
Patrick Ewing called this play himself. Rowsom over in time. Good play by Brian Rowsom. Patrick wanted the ball. Tell you what, very fortunate we got that call. A charge taken in the paint in the NBA. A rare
5 turnovers apiece. The stars have come out here tonight.
Yeah, Mr. October sitting next to Bob Sakamoto, Reggie Jackson.
By Bill Cartwright.
Rowsom shows you a perimeter touch.
But the more talent there is, sometimes you can pull it off. But it is very difficult, no doubt about it. Takes you out of the rhythm you become accustomed to.
8:36 to go. Knicks by only 2. And the Hornets have got it right back.
Good rotation that time by the interior players of the Hornets, namely Brian Rowsom.
Chance to tie the game. Tried the pick and roll. Sidney Lowe's got it with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Del Curry. And the game is even once again at 85.
To lead the crew along with Blaine Reichelt and Bernie Pryor. And Brian Rowsom in his first Hornets start. And Jaminski coming off his best year of basketball last year. Oh, good backdoor as Rowsom lost Barkley. And Muggsy spots him, and it's 5-4.
Double down inside on Brian Rowsom, leaving Muggsy Bogues. Let's watch that develop and see if Muggsy comes up with a couple outside jumpers.
Barkley driving in the lane, just giving Jaminski the wide open shot.
Handling those baseline screens the Hornets use.
I like this. Brian Rowsom's going to the line. When you don't score a lot.
Get it. It's taken by Keys. 58 seconds left to play. Down the middle, Williams. Backhand pass is a beauty. Rowsom's got it. Falling down. He got away with travel, and they call a foul on Drew.
On that last rebound attempt, it seemed like Jawan Oldham hurt his knee. He might have hurt his leg. He came up very slowly, and he seemed like he was limping.
Oh, Kimball, who was a guest with Stu on radio at halftime. This kid has been quite an inspiration. And he's, gee, you talk to him, you just gotta love the guy. The free throw is good. 109-96. The Hornets, they've had their stingers pulled out. But they'll be back for another year.
Come up with a couple stops down the floor here, and they've got 4 guys off the bench, and Muggsy, the only starter in right now, could go into the fourth quarter in very good position, Gary, with a couple stops.
3 on the shot clock. And there is stop number 1. Rowsom on the boards. Muggsy Bogues. And we are all even at 75. 1.5 to go, third quarter.
We got our first stop in a basket, which is just as good as a couple stops, Gary.
All right, I'm right with you. Let's go for stop number 2. There's number 2.
So far, so good.
Yes, right. Rowsom. And the Hornets lead by 2. I like your game plan, 77-75. Rick Pitino, however, not quite as appreciative of it.
Rick, not a happy camper right now, but you saw Brian Rowsom run that floor. And Gary, we've talked so far tonight about, and I've really been impressed with the way the Hornets have filled the lanes, not only the left and the right of the ball handler, but they brought their 4th and 5th guys into the break. And we've gotten some very nice baskets, what I call some cheap baskets, which all add up.
1:05 remaining first quarter. Foolish foul by the rookie, Jerome Lane.
No need to foul Brian Rowsom right there with 59 seconds to go on the clock in the first quarter.
Rowsom's a good free throw shooter. 76.5%. Came back off his injury like a house of fire. He's calmed down a bit in the past few games, but the coaching staff feels there's a lot of potential in this young man.
One thing about Brian, he will go to the boards. He will attempt to establish position both offensively and defensively. And he can get to the foul line, and I like big guys who go to the foul line and knock down their foul shots.
He's out by the three-point line. He's trying to get something going. He can't. Now cuts to the near side, feeds Rowsom for a long jump that is good. Brian Rowsom.
Able for the Hornets is rebounding. That time Timmy had a shot, missed. The guy who was rebounding for the Hornets was Brian Rowsom.
2:50 to play in the game. It's 123-96 Indiana, and they've had this one under control for some time. Brian Rowsom put the ball in, but a foul call on the Spurs before they get the 2. 123-96, as I mentioned, lots of people have had good games here tonight.
This is a nice move by Clint Wheeler baseline. This is what set it all up. It pulled the defense over, and he made a nice layoff there to Brian Rowsom for the layup.
Oh, Rowsom will go to the line. And the kid's got a pretty nice touch. Did a big job against IU last year. 21.8 points a game. He shot 74% from the line in college.
We're going to get our first look at Brian Rowsom, and there he is from University of North Carolina, Wilmington, and from tiny Columbia, North Carolina. I'm sure they're very proud there. Played well in 11 minutes of action last night. Rowsom with the ball.
Ewing guarding Rowsom.
Foul is on. Let's hear from Brian Rowsom on how he feels about returning to the Hornets lineup.
I know it's going to take me some time to get acclimated to being back on the floor in game conditions, but I think that I can provide some good rebounding and inside play. I think Kurt's he's getting older, Earl's getting older, and I feel like if I can establish myself now, I could be a part of the future here. I'd like to be here, as long as possible.
53-34. Wide open, Michael Holton. Rowsom finally cleaned up the garbage and got 2 points for Charlotte.
Brian Rowsom sided Dick Carter.
Versus Hunter Huss High School, big rivalry, tip-off at 4:45. Gaston County Night, sponsored by the Gaston Observer, part of the Charlotte Observer. Brian Rowsom, another inside force for the Hornets, something the team badly needed.
Nice job that time by Brian. When he went into the paint, 2 Knicks moved over on him. He didn't shuffle his feet.
We're live at Chicago Stadium, where a hot team resides. The Chicago Bulls have been on fire since Michael Jordan moved to point guard. Tonight, the Hornets will try to cool them off.
I have the Bulls full court pressure here. They get it into Seasting. Anderson, Rowsom. Seasting comes across against Hodges. Richard Anderson goes over the top to Rowsom around King. What a move by Brian Rowsom. He has 6 and averages 7. Michael Jordan back for the Bulls.
Wait a minute, folks. Too much mustard on the hot dog now.
Jackson a little carried away.
Rowsom.
Curry showing the face.
Vicky Pierce that we could not contain at the key moments at the beginning of the fourth quarter. It's a Brian Rowsom layup, isn't it, Gary? Yep. Brian had a good finish to the season. I think that more than any of our players, physical condition is going to determine what type of year he has. If he can get where he can explode and go up the basket better, Brian can be a very effective player for us.
He's the kind of kid that you get the feeling if it can be done, he'll get it done.
Yeah, I think he's got good work habits and wants to be a fine NBA player. And the next year is going to tell a story.
Good late run, though, by the Hornets in this ballgame.
Anytime you can do that, if you're a decent shooter, you'll get one to go down.
Hornets aggressive against the press. Brian Rowsom slammed it down, and the Hornets are back on top by 4.
I don't think Ewing expected that. He's calling timeout himself. You can tell by the way he attacked Rowsom off the dribble that he thought he was going to get an easy block. Rowsom got that off somehow. Impressive.
Boy, if you go to the hole, though, good things happen.
Here's the break. Now, Rowsom smartly gives it to Lowe. Lowe gives it right back. Rowsom could have dribbled the ball, but very intelligent play by getting it back to the man in the middle.
You have got to adore that play. The aggressiveness to just take it right to the hole and challenge anybody who might be in the path, including Patrick Ewing.